back, ladies and gentlemen, to what is our penultimate night. Stage 2 of the SSL Challenge. My name is Reed Rapid Melton. With me is Brandon Valdez. Oh, I guess it should only be one Valdez in there, because that's what I'm going to use tonight.
That's okay.
Maybe next week I'll use Brandon. Maybe next time I'll use Brendan.
You can also call me the spicy salmon, if
that
you
is
wish.
True. We're no longer spicy or salmon, but at least you're keeping the spicy clothing alive tonight.
Yeah, I just felt like we needed a bit of an upgrade here.
Just spice it up a little bit.
You know, I felt like the shirt and tie was a little bit boring.
Yeah.
So
when the Spice Girls wrote "Spice Up Your Life," it was about Brendan's socks.
I made sure to roll them up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that just makes you cooler.
Really nice.
We analyzed our prime demographic, and what we found is that 100% of everyone that watches loves pulled-up socks. And so we just really – this show is all about giving the fans what they want, Valdez. And that includes things like dope-ass StarCraft and socks that get pulled up all the time. So yeah,
and manly knees.
Oh, that is
stuff
true.
Like that, yeah.
You're the hero we need.
You didn't bring your shorts today. What happened?
No. So what I decided was, I was like working on this. I decided that rather than just create a mediocre 2 weeks in a row, I would save everything for the final week next week of SSL Challenge. And that week, that's really just going to be like that sprinkle the salt on it moment. So
all right, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see what you have in store for us, Rapid.
It's going to be good. I think I gave you a little preview earlier.
Yeah, but you know.
So that's going to be cool. We've got other cool stuff like we just had the final round of GSL played today. So GSL finals are coming up. SSL finals are coming up as well.
Everything's coming up, man.
Yeah. Lots of
just
StarCraft.
All the finals, Premier, Dark. Unfortunately, today did go down to Innovation, but he's got a chance in SSL Premier. He's going to be going up against Classic on Monday. It's against Protoss. I think he should win. I think this time I said Dark 4-1, and Wolf said like Dark 4-2. What are you thinking, Rapid?
For SSL finals, I would say probably...
Well, for Dark versus Classic.
Or, yeah, so for SSL semifinals. I would say probably maybe Dark 4-2. Or 3, I don't know. I got a chance to talk with Dark and Classic, and if you guys haven't watched our new show, 4-Man, you should definitely go check that out on the SSL YouTube channel. We're just, I think we also tweeted it on the SSL Twitter. It's SPOTV_games_EN on Twitter. Just tweeted a cool show with them where they talk about kind of the balance and the state of StarCraft. So if you want to hear some of their thoughts, which, by the way, are hilarious, you should go check that out before they play in the SSL semifinals on Monday.
That video was so funny.
It was pretty sick. Dark kind of stole the show, though. Like, that guy's...
I mean, I just loved the difference between Classic and Dark. Dark was, like, in Classic's ear, as Classic was just, like, snidely, seriously, like, well, you know, I think that Zerg is a little bit too overpowered, and Dark's just in the corner like, wow, you really just have no conscience. Like, what are you even saying, man? Just, like, it was really funny. Definitely go check it out. I don't tweet that much. I retweeted it, so it's probably up near the top if you just want a quick way to find it.
Well, what if I wanted a quick way to find out our standings so far in SSL, Valdez?
You could go ahead and look at the screen, Rapid.
Wow!
Here we have some games.
That's so sick. It's almost like these tell you who is where in the standings, and somewhat surprisingly, Bunny is way up on top. This guy crushed his group in the regular season, and now in Stage 2, he is still up there, having yet to lose a series.
Yeah, it's really fantastic to see just how well he's doing in a group that has so many strong players, guys like Rougue, ByuN, Su, even Impact or Jockji on a good day. But definitely has gotten himself into first place. Right behind him are ByuN and Su. But here are our matches for tonight. Rougue versus ByuN, Su versus Bunny, then Impact versus Jockji to end the night. I'm looking forward to Su versus Bunny, honestly.
I am too. I think this is definitely going to be, so our first match of the night is probably going to be our closest match. Su versus Bunny probably will not, and neither will our last series, and we'll talk about those for their own specific reasons. Su has yet to really figure out how to play ZVT. I think he is like 3-15 in his last series, so it's been a struggle for that guy so far, or 3 out of 15. So it's just been a little bit rough for that guy. For our first series of the night, Rougue versus ByuN, this is going to be like really, really sick. Now, last week, if you guys remember watching ByuN play Impact, or maybe I think that was 2 weeks ago, he looked a little bit rough.
Yeah.
And maybe it was because it was very, very late and he had played in GSL earlier, so I think that was a couple weeks ago. But it was just a very tired ByuN, and he barely managed to squeak it out 3-2, but it was just so close. So I hope he delivers a better performance tonight. We were just talking earlier about ByuN's apartment. He actually lives really close to the studio here, so he's had a whole day to himself to kind of practice and should be coming in very well rested tonight. And against Rougue, a guy that's been really up and coming, he sort of started to cool off a little bit, so we'll see which Rougue shows up tonight in our first game.
Yeah, I'm favoring ByuN for this one. It's good that ByuN doesn't have to wake up early for GSL anymore because he's not in GSL anymore.
That's a silver lining.
I just triggered so many ByuN fans out there. But definitely will have a lot more time to focus on SSL Challenge. He wants to make it out in first place if possible. He's going to need Bunny to at least lose one game in order to do that. So we'll see if even he can get there. Let's hope he has a better performance in Fastlane for this season.
Yeah, Bunny's been looking on fire, so really, really excited to watch him play in our second series tonight. And then to round things out, we've got Impact versus Jockchi, and Impact looks super hot lately. He has he just finished 3-0ing Sue, and you just you hear that, and I'm like, no, guys, I'm telling the truth.
Yeah.
It happened, and it was dominant. It was just so sick to watch that happen. So Impact definitely way up on the way up. He is returning to his VSL champion form.
Oh yeah. I love his glasses, too. It really just rounds out the whole image that you get.
One of these days,
when you think about him.
We should get Impact glasses and wear them while we call him up here for an interview.
Yeah, but they can't have frames. They got to be frameless, or not frames. They have to be lensless.
They can't have
no lens.
lenses. Just the circle.
No frames, just the floating the floating lenses right in front of our eyes. Somehow, maybe we could get a monocle or something like that.
Ooh, could be monocle.
Does
casters.
a monocle have frames? Or
yes.
A frame?
I guess it
has frame.
I guess theoretically it could just not have a frame, but the idea is that you're supposed to pinch it with your eye.
Yeah.
And so I feel like, I don't know why I made that face while I'm putting a monocle in. I just imagine that being kind of painful. So I guess you would need a frame for that one because I don't really want to have glass touching my skin the whole time.
I mean, it's okay.
What if you fall over with a monocle?
Yeah, but it'll fall out, Well, maybe if you grimace as you're falling, you're like, oh, you hold it in there real tight.
You have clearly
and it,
never
cracks
used a monocle
as you're coming
before.
down. Doesn't it have a little thing that goes around your...
Yeah, like a chain, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you can be blinging it out.
Oh, yeah. Gotta get your gold monocle chain.
One of these days, because guys like ByuN definitely sort of has an alternative fashion sense, especially the way he used to do his hair. We've had guys that are very unique, but one of these days we're going to get that guy that's just that 1% of StarCraft players that just wears the monocle and the top hat, the cravat going on.
I hope so.
That's how you got to do it.
I love when these players stand out in one way or another.
We should do that for one day.
What did ByuN have last week? It was rockets?
Yeah,
you were calling them rockets with the Z?
I don't understand. He had
had it on his shirt
a pink shirt with a white word rockets. He was wearing some pretty sick stuff earlier on today, so I don't want to spoil anything. But
I thought he just had a gray and white striped shirt.
I thought it was cool. Right after I say I don't want to spoil anything, Valdez is like,
cool.
Well, let me just say exactly what it is. I don't.
Because I thought you were talking about something else because I thought it was just not cool.
Oh, okay. So, well, thanks, Valdez.
Sorry to.
We're getting our caster synergy.
It's okay.
On the way.
Yeah,
it's coming.
Just like these games, eventually.
No.
We promised there's StarCraft tonight.
This is the biggest bamboozle in StarCraft, right? We just call this a StarCraft show when, in fact, it's just TalkCraft all day long.
I wonder if there's been one day where we've talked more than there have been games. When we had the best of threes.
Them. Well, see, the thing that is really happening here is this is our StarCraft tanning salon where we come and sit on. So I counted it. I actually counted it. So normally we have about one or two lights on us. Tonight I think we have 4 of the super bright lights on us, and there's 2 more lights up top. And even though there's no actual crowd here for the show, we still have all the lights on downstairs as well. So we just turn on every light. Oh yeah, and upstairs.
Everywhere,
we turn on
in the
every
corner,
light in the studio
stands,
tonight. So,
by the front door.
I'm also trying this whole new hairstyle thing, and it's just well, what if we just sweat a lot today? This is by
the end of the night, it's just going to be blocking your eyes. You can't see anything.
It's not going to be good.
I hope we can spare you of that misery, Rapid, but Yeah,
Not
again,
likely.
I promise there's some stuff.
No. So
we're just, maybe the players are still getting makeup or something.
yeah, if you're new to SSL Challenge, we have a Korean broadcast as well, and they're very popular, but they also like the cheeky bants. And so they do that quite frequently.
Cheeky
And
bants?
thankfully, because they're the ones that
that
are
what
going
you
to lead
said?
the broadcast, they get to do that however long they want. So yes, that's what they do, Valdez.
The cheeky bants?
That's the official term.
Okay. Well, we do have Rougue here. He is one of our Zerg players tonight. It is going to be 3 TVZs, so if you guys didn't get enough TVZ earlier, then you will watch 3 more tonight, and these are best of 5. So we already had 7 games today of TVZ. Perhaps we will get 15 more. Rougue is up against ByuN, who is currently sitting at 2-1, hoping not to disappoint, as he kind of did last season, hoping to make it up into Premier, where I think we can all agree he does belong.
I would definitely agree with that. He was 1 game away from Premier last season and then just fell heartbreakingly short. So he's climbed his way all the way up to second place in the Stage 2 standings. And with a good performance here tonight, tomorrow, and next week, he definitely could secure that first place spot for a direct seed into SSL Premier.
I love the drop on that
Yeah.
song. But then we transition right away, right after the drop happens. It always makes me sad. But this is the map list. Abyssal Reef, Whirlwind, Overgrowth, Ascension to Ire, and then Frost to end the night. So hoping that it does get all the way to Frost. Rougue is very entertaining once it does get into a late game. TVZ Frost loves to harass with a bunch of different units.
Yeah.
Famously with his Ultralisk taking out a 5th base by himself.
His solo Ultralisk harass. I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense because they do deal splash damage. So if there's just like a tiny clump of Marines somewhere, then I guess you can do that. I just don't see his Ultralisk harass is kind of like Innovation's new what was it, Banshee harass, where you just get speed and go around the map. Well, he does it that way. Rougue likes to do it with Ultras. So some exciting things in store. We already finished 1 great TVZ series earlier on today, and Dark versus Innovation, which if you haven't watched, just do yourself a favor. It's possibly the best of series that you will ever see. It's just insane.
Up there.
And I'm not even hyping it up. Everybody is saying that. It was super sick. So if you liked that TVZ series, well, we've got TVZ all night tonight, so hope you're ready.
Yeah. As I was saying before, we got 7 games, maybe 15 more.
7 games?
Yeah. We had 7 games earlier.
Oh, that's right.
Dark versus Innovation did go all the way to Game 7. I mean, spoilers are already out there.
Oh,
so.
yeah, way to go,
Sorry,
Valdez.
guys. Yeah, I know.
They'll never know who wins now.
I have some news for you guys. If both Rougue and Bunny win today, it means Bunny is in first place and automatically into Premier for certain. So Bunny is watching this match before he has his later tonight and hoping that Rougue can take out the victory, which might just be an upset up against ByuN. So let's jump into game number 1 right now on Abyssal Reef.
You gonna do it with me? Oh, I forget if we fly better fly here.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, you did.
Oh, okay.
I'm still on the ground.
I gotta swing back by and pick you up.
I haven't taken off yet, yeah.
Okay, well, our purple Zerg player is Rougue. That's that guy, and this one is his opponent, ByuN.
Yeah.
Whose name is a little bit easier to say.
See what I mean about his fashion? He's just got like a regular sweatshirt on.
Yeah, okay, well, I mean, if he hadn't put that jersey on, then maybe things would be a little bit more exciting.
Yeah.
He did. Big fan of the expert jersey. I think it's definitely one way up there.
Is he?
What are we watching?
Is he going to expand here?
Yeah, so this is super.
Okay. No.
Okay, I think he was thinking about it because he's pooling minerals. So I think he was thinking about putting it over there, but then is decided to put it back where it belongs.
Maybe he's just scared about a proxy hatch, because that would be the area to put it down. And Rougue is pretty sexy, but he's also kind of cheeky with the builds that he does choose.
I feel like if he was going to put a command center in a different place, then he should put it way far away, like 4th or 5th base, because you send 2 overlords out as Zerg early, and both sides of the base are going to reveal those side bases too. So not necessarily the sneakiest place to put a command center.
You know which bases we never, or I can't really recall ever seeing being taken during casts of my own, are the ones in the top right and bottom left. I feel like players just never get to that point in the game where they take those.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's hard to do that with some maps that have bases that are more centrally located. Obviously, those are the ones that are taken last. But it gets pretty hard to defend your outer bases as the map gets split in half over time. This is one of those maps where you split all the minerals on both halves of the map. There's no like radial symmetry. There's no like center bases. You pretty much just mine on your side and then do damage on their side. But I don't know, this is still an interesting way to see an opener. I've never, it's very rare that we get a chance to see that kind of wall off, and usually you wall off, with the rocks, right, to keep them coming up the narrow ramp, but ByuN is just going to make sure he's airtight.
Yeah, feeling good. I'm curious if he's going to bring in any mech into his play tonight. Curious about this for all of the Terrans, because Innovation did use quite a lot of that when he wasn't cheesing. Even when he was cheesing, mixing in the mech, but...
Look at those two little Zerglings. Nobody told them it's going to take them like 10 years to break those rocks down.
Yeah, he's getting to work.
They're working on it.
It'll happen eventually.
Yeah, if we have like a 20-minute game, eventually...
This is where this wall you were talking about comes into play.
This is so crazy. Wow, I have really not seen quite such architecture. I went up to the Imperial Palace 4 days ago, I want to say.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been there.
It was quite a ways. I would say that unless you want to make a day out of it, I did not realize what an investment it was. Highly recommend it. Great architecture there, and also in the front of ByuN's base.
Yeah. He's just trying to do his, his own, pay his dues, if you will, to the
time after time.
Korean Imperial Palace. Is that actually a lyric from that song?
Yeah.
Is it really?
It is.
I had no idea.
It's a good song, by the way. If you haven't heard it, probably go check
it's
it
been
out.
a while, actually.
Really?
Maybe tonight I'll turn it on.
It's a good song. Big fan.
No roaches here.
Yeah, also a big fan of Zergs that don't skip the Roach Warren. I feel like every Zerg thinks, but what if I can get away without it? And then they die. So nice to see the security. A little bit of respect there. But here comes the first medevac out on the map. It's got that one Widow Mine in it. Sometimes we see Terran players like drop the Widow Mine and use that one to snipe the Overlord. But just going to get things started here. Party up in the front now. Ooh, God, no, he's not going to unburrow it. Wow, that's not the greatest usage of a Widow Mine, Valdez.
Yeah.
I feel pretty confident about that analysis.
Waiting for the boost to come off cooldown, but actually his medevac is nowhere in sight, so just waiting to group up with his second medevac that's making its way across. He knows that ByuN, or rather Rougue, doesn't have any detection until the Spore comes over here, so he's like, yeah, I can save it. There he goes.
Picks it up, snags it, and gets the hot pickup. Wow, and look at this siege tank positioning. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Only ByuN figures this stuff out. I mean, who else have we seen do that? I guess Innovation does this a couple of times, but by and large, it is just ByuN flying around the map, finding wacky places to put tanks in to stop mining time.
I was always surprised that we didn't see that abused more often in mostly TVZ, sometimes TVT.
Oh, wow.
That was a nice snipe by Rougue. But
picking off the random medevac floating over there.
This is such a good spot to put even just one tank. You don't even have to overcommit, but
surprise!
Okay, even a surprise to me, as I didn't even realize there was a Nidus Worm on the map, but here we go. Nidus Worm in the main.
I mean, there is a Liberator right over it, but the Queens will pop out first, right? No, he actually sends the Roaches through first. So theoretically, you're supposed to throw like 3 Queens through. There's 4, actually 5 Queens, and those will take out the Liberator, which is the classic way to stop this. So that Nidus is going to deal a lot of damage, but in the meantime, there is also a push up into the natural expansion, but it's a very narrow choke point, so you can see it's pretty easy for Rougue to defend back at home.
Oh, yeah.
He's getting a lot of damage done here in the main.
Look at that stim. That's never getting up in this game. He needs tanks, and he needs to protect them. One coming out.
Yeah,
trying to focus that down.
There were a couple of Roaches that were hitting it, but it does stay alive. There's SCVs protecting it, going to get there for the repair. But crucially enough, there's damage still being done. The natural, totally devoid of worth. Even the Ro.4 is going to be taken down. There's not enough forces at home to defend, and even what is in ByuN's base is starting to be limited.
Somehow that stim is still alive.
I don't understand that.
ByuN's emergency protocols,
if you
will,
nothing else,
are really nice.
Just kill the stim. Like, if you kill stim, going bio just becomes such a worthless option against a player that's just massing up roaches.
Yeah.
The Marines are just going to stand there and shoot, and it's just not going to do anything.
ByuN didn't seem to have any idea this was coming, but still is having a decent time holding this off. Even that one tank in the back is still alive.
The Queens weren't focusing the Liberator, and even now they've just barely taken out. There's only 2 Queens left, and look at how much Rougue has to sacrifice.
He's just pouring roaches into that Nidus Swarm, and it looks like he has taken control of at least his natural in the third. His main is still pretty unhappy, but sniping that Nidus is going to be fantastic for ByuN here.
Yeah, I mean, there's no like burrow or any cheeky shenanigans here. What you see is what you get. What you get's a GG. ByuN taking game number 1.
How often do you see a guy who, oh, nice little cheeky smile there. He's happy about that game.
He knows it. Anytime you defend against one of those Nidus Worm shenanigan guys, It always feels pretty good.
ByuN was down on supply in that game.
He was.
He was still going to win that game because
that's like,
it was an all-in, basically.
When you play other games that are like based on how many like kills your character gets, and it's like, well, I have 100 and you only have 1. Well, it doesn't look really cool. Well, sometimes it's not all about like who does the most damage if you can get into a situation from which your opponent can't recover. So good on ByuN to both protect and attack at the same time.
He dealt with that emergency situation very well. I mean, he didn't see the Nidus. He didn't know what was happening, but he's like, oh, crap. I guess I gotta get my Liberator in position. We talk about ByuN. He reacted very well, but at the same time, the execution out of Rougue was not what we would have liked. I'll give that like a, maybe like a 4.5 out of 10.
It's a pretty cool idea, though. Like, you don't really see Nidus play all that often, and even then it's not always for this all-in attempt. And it was a little bit premature, and ByuN was looking pretty scary. He's also looking pretty happy.
Yeah, he's still smiling.
Now.
Still with the cheeky grin. But here we go. Game number 2 on Whirlwind. Fly better fly.
Jin Air. Okay. All right, we got it there at the end. That's all that matters. It worked eventually.
We did it.
All right.
High five.
Here's Rougue. He is once again playing purple. And his opponent, ByuN, in the blue.
Who is playing Terran. So purple versus Terran here for game 2. And this is going to be cross map. So, you know, recline your chair a little bit.
Yeah.
Turn on some Chopin. Maybe just enjoy the scenery for a while, guys.
You get a favorite classical artist?
Chopin.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I really like him.
My dad would always call him Chopin to trigger me, and it
oh
worked
yeah,
pretty well.
They always do that. All those non-knowers of classical music.
I gotta say,
who's that guy named Chopin?
Okay, yeah, those guys are hilarious. Just like people that say botch or something. I'm like, no.
Botch? Oh,
like
Bach.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize what you were talking
More of
about. It's so foreign to me.
Rachmaninoff guy myself. A little bit more advanced.
Yeah, he's nice.
Those Debussy and Ravel kids were pretty cool too. But as far as classical players go, I feel like ByuN is definitely one of those.
Yeah.
He's definitely been around for long enough to be able to craft an art form. Everybody, you kind of know what you get when you watch a ByuN game. Lots of mechanics, lots of micro, lots of early strategies and aggression. But I want to say that lately, especially with the advent of the most Reaper nerf coming through, and that just strategy kind of falling out of style, ByuN has kind of had to take that opportunity to say, whoa, well, am I a good player because of this build, or now that things have changed, can I adapt and react to these changes? And he's definitely changed it up. No more early Reapers, very few proxy racks, and a lot of different styles coming out of this Terran.
Yeah, it's hard when you have one of your main styles essentially snatched away from you by the publisher, but I think it was the right move to make in the end of the day. I think it made this matchup a lot healthier, I would have to say, in the early game. It's going to be interesting to see what removing the Mothership core is going to do for early game Protoss as well, or even mid and late game as well, as you can rely on those defensive capabilities very nicely. Just leave it at home.
All right, so we talked about Rougue's games last week and how he was looking a little bit shaky, kind of tired, but tonight is obviously a little bit different. It's a nice refresher. And aside from the shakiness, I mean, wins are wins, so even if you don't win very convincingly, hey, it still counts as a 1 in the win column. So for ByuN, this summer, he has been on fire against Zerg. I think he is like maybe 70% win rate, and it's just been smashing him right and left. Granted, a lot of that is due to that Reaper strategy we discussed earlier, but he's still just been really, really good. He's had Rougue's number, and in fact, he 2-0'd Rougue in the regular season, so just a great place for ByuN to be in. I should point out also that if ByuN and Bunny win tonight, then that does lock them into their spots.
ByuN too? Even
no, if ByuN wins, then it helps lock Bunny into his spot.
Okay.
Yeah, so if they both win, then Bunny gets first place.
No, I thought it was Rougue had to win. If both Rougue and Bunny win today,
there we go. Okay.
It means that Bunny is first, because that means that ByuN
would drop down.
Yeah,
right. And
because he's one of the challengers for the first place spot, and I think Sue already lost to Bunny, so if they tie, it doesn't really matter.
Yes.
So
here come the first 4 Hellions. We should talk about this because the armory is about to complete. I think it actually just did. So here we go. There's the transformation. It is literally morphing time, Valdez, and here come the Hellions up the middle.
He's got Cloak Banshees as the follow-up. Rougue just relying on only Queens and Lings to deal with this. He does get a nice surround, but again, these are Hellbats. Nice save on that medevac, and well, this is when the real problems start. Another wave of Lings come out, and he does snipe that medevac.
Yeah,
so
crazy Ling casualties, but I mean, it doesn't stop here, right? This is just to sort of poke in and see, okay, how airtight are your defenses? And okay, well, maybe you're good at defending now, but the follow-up, these Cloak Banshees are going to be maybe a little bit rougher to deal with. Also, with all those Lings getting taken out early, that really clears up the map control. There's not going to be all that scouting information from running Zerglings around the map.
Nidus again?
Man,
this guy is hooked on the Nidus drug, man. He saw Dark earlier on. He's like, man, that game 3 was so sick. I think I could be cool like him too. Well, if you lose both your games, it's not quite as cool, unfortunately.
Yeah, and a lot of times it's easy to say, hey, this player did a strategy, I'm going to do that too. But what you don't see are all the subtle nuances, all the strategies that you die to if you do that strategy that you have to protect against. So sometimes it can just be really difficult to get to a strategy like Cloak Banshees or these Speed Banshees that Innovation's been doing, or this Nidus play that we've seen Dark doing. But here we go again. It's our opportunity to see Rougue try it, and maybe it'll work out a little bit better this time.
Spore is coming up. Actually, ByuN could get to work on these drones. He's being very careful about it because he knows that once that does pop, he's going to have to get out of there. But he needs to deal with the Nidus in his main. He should know about it now.
Rougue was pretty slow ferrying units through. He completed the Nidus and then only sent through a couple of Queens. Could have been doing damage this whole time, but now everything is out and in ByuN's base.
GG.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's a very different situation.
Yeah.
All right.
So I was making fun of Rougue, but it seems like the caster curse comes in once again. But it makes sense against that build, right? Because you don't have any tanks. ByuN goes for a totally different build. The Cloak Banshees, all you need is layer tech with the Overseer, and then you can see them, and you have all those Queens, and you're totally fine.
Yeah, it turns out if you don't have like 3 tanks hitting all of your bases at the same time, it's a little bit easier to go for that all in. So, yeah, great job. Nice to see the smile kind of wiped off ByuN's face after that first game. It was like, you tried to Nidus me and I beat you, but no, turnabout is fair play, and that's going to even up the series and make it essentially a best of 3. Really cool to see that strategy work. It's sort of a, it's that strategy you pull off once and you're like, okay, I did a thing, but now I can't really do it again because my opponent's going to expect it. That was Rougue. He's got to take a quick break right now, and we should have him back in the booth any minute now.
Yeah. Seems very stressed after his win.
Yeah, he did actually seem really kind of stressed out as he was walking.
1 Zerg player, 2 Zerg players.
That's our referee. We'll get both of them coming back.
That's Sue.
Oh, wait, is it? I didn't recognize. He's got a mask on. He looked. To be
it's
fair,
true. He's in disguise. He's in disguise.
So
I will give you that.
Like the referee.
It's just I have detection, so I can see through the disguise.
He was cloaked.
Yeah. He's trying to
burrowed.
just go unawares to everybody else.
Well, if you're trying to be unawares, you probably shouldn't walk in front of the camera. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah.
It's
true. The camera does have detection. That's for sure.
Yeah, and also, what's the other thing they say about the camera? It, like, adds 20 pounds?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if that's really true.
No, probably not.
Not when it's that far away.
No, we actually do have the camera, like, way on the other side of the studio, so.
Yeah.
How far away do you think that camera is?
Maybe 22 feet.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is where we learned that Valdez measured it last night and was totally prepared
I
for
came
my
prepared.
question.
I knew exactly what you were going to say, Rabbit, so.
Well, good job, Valdez.
That's why I'm here.
So, bets on Nidus is in game number 3. Oh, hey, we got our SSL Mosquito back.
Yeah, he's back, but not only him, there was a second one.
Oh
I was
my God.
pushing him away.
It's about that
he
time
wants
of
the
year
socks.
right now. Yeah, he's going for
He wants
it.
to get at the socks. I know they're pretty cool, but Rougue's going back
Rougue,
in the booth.
the sexy boy and the socksy boy, both at the same time.
I
It's
like
intense,
it.
guys.
I like it. Okay, this is his friend.
Yeah,
He's a little bit
we've got a
smaller.
lot of action going on here. It's very complicated trying to regain our composure.
Yeah, I mean there are planes, flying in
Yeah.
from behind us. One's
know what
taking off
kinda-
behind Rapid.
What kind of technology it takes to be able to mute the planes in the background and still hear our voices. Also, all of our adoring fans that cheer for us the entire show, you guys don't get to hear them either. So
Everything's muted
unfortunate there.
except our voices. But you guys have control
That's
on
right.
that too. I'm just curious how they stop the planes in mid-flight.
Time distortion.
Oh.
Oh my God,
I see.
I got makeup in my eye. That's actually the
You're
most
like telling
painful.
secrets.
Oh
Now
my
your
God.
eyes are going to start bleeding. Like
Wow, that's painful.
the CIA's
On
got
the
something
upside,
on you.
nobody will be able to tell the blemishes on my eyeball because I've now covered them up with makeup. So
That's good.
wow, that's painful. I'm just gonna be sobbing this entire cast. It hurts so much.
Earlier today, I was cooking with onions, and before I started cooking with onions, I was like, I don't understand why they cry. It's not a big deal. Like, I mean, they're just onions. Like, I've been near onions, and then I started to cook with them and actually chop them myself, and then I realized
You gotta put a piece of bread in your mouth,
are you serious?
or just wash the onion ahead of time.
Well, I washed the onion, and then it's still, yeah.
Must have been an extremely potent onion.
Little brother's trying to get at your arm right now.
All right,
Look at him.
all right. Here we
You
go.
got him?
Here we go. Ah, merciless.
Did you get him?
Merciless. Absolutely no chill.
So he's watching the cast like, what the hell are those guys doing?
No idea. Sue has no
Are they
idea what our
live?
job is.
He's like,
right
no,
now.
they're definitely not live. He just walks
Yeah,
right
no,
by.
we're just.
He's like, no, there's no way.
No way.
Yeah.
Actually, so also Rougue went back into his booth, and so we're just chilling.
Yeah, we're actually just chilling.
They decided that instead of just taking our pause for what it was, we were just going to have a
Guys,
little bit of
I
a
have an
break.
important update. The average lifespan of a male mosquito is 10 days.
Oh my
A
God.
female mosquito lives to 42 to 56 days.
42 days?
To 56 days.
Oh my God.
So
That is inappropriate.
there's a good chance that the same SSL mosquito from season 1 is actually
come back for another season?
It's dead.
Oh, I thought you were going to say
I'm
it's
sorry.
still alive. I don't know.
Yeah, no. No, definitely dead.
I shed a single tear.
And if it's a male mosquito, there's a chance that we get a new one every week.
Every week?
I had no idea.
That is, that's prodigious.
Yeah. I'm going to pretend that I know what that word means.
That's from Rocket Boys. It's just a play on the word prodigious. Which means awesome.
Rocket Boys?
Yeah.
What is Rocket Boys? Are you talking about Rocket Power?
No. That's way worse. No, it's a sick movie. Book before that, but it's super cool. We'll talk about that later. Let's go ahead and get into our third game of our best of 5 between Rougue and ByuN, who we will now introduce.
Nice. That is Rougue.
Ta-da! You would never have guessed. He also has an extremely fast pool. On the other side, this is ByuN.
Okay, another important update.
All right, hit me with it.
Only female mosquitoes bite people. So the SSL mosquito is most likely a female, so adding some balance to this broadcast.
Really?
And male mosquitoes eat nectar from flowers.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So do they, like, pollinate, too? I've never understood how this works.
Maybe the next update will... maybe we can figure more out about male mosquitoes and what they do.
All right, the pool is just about to finish. That was super fast, and we're already having double extractors on the way as well, both of which are going to be saturated as 2. So, I mean, this is just going to be super early aggression. ByuN He's doing things like building an extractor. He's got a barracks on the way. You know?
This guy, he listened to 4-Man, where Dark was like, "What are you talking about? Zergs don't have any ways to do any all-ins. What do you mean?" And he's like, "Okay, let me show you a thing or two, Dark."
Imagine my surprise when all of a sudden I'm sitting next to Dark and he's like, "Yeah, I just wish Zergs had the ability to all in." I'm like, "Look, do you not know like what this race is? I have no idea."
It's just another one of those Protoss haters, man. The GSL chat earlier was just, whew, what is that word? A rife.
Ooh, no, I think it's just rife.
Rife, okay.
Yeah.
With Terran haters, because Innovation 1, I'm like, are you guys serious? Can we please just like take a step back?
It's like a 7-game series.
Just because you lose to some Terrans in Silver League doesn't mean that Terran is overpowered, okay?
I love that, because it's like the games were so close
annoying
all the time. Like, this is the least one-sided series, and then the guy that wins is just like, "Oh wow, he was so strong. There's nothing you can do to beat him." I'm like, guys, he literally lost 3 times in this series. Like, I don't know what you're trying to say. Well, either way, this is going to be a crazy, insane fast roast Ravager rush, and ByuN kind of starting to realize, well, I'm in a little bit of trouble here. Still no bunkers.
The Ling is even delaying the command center.
Well, the command center is going to have to be canceled, like no question about that. We do have the bare minimum 3 Ravagers with Roaches coming up behind, and all of a sudden that Reaper is suddenly not so happy about scouting out on the map.
Immediate cancels by ByuN. He cancels the Hellion, makes a Cyclone, starts a bunker right away. And that is a dead reactor. So here we go.
Is. Yeah, and ByuN spent quite a bit of time on that reactor, and nice snipe right where the Marine was going to pop out. Now we are going to be seeing continual bios just to make sure that as few units can be built as possible, as he does deny that supply, and especially with all these Ravagers, or the Ravager being more on the bottom of the ramp, going to help him bust through this bunker, which will inevitably only have like 1 or 2 units in it.
Yeah, and bunkers aren't really that great against Ravagers. Corrosive Biles are pretty strong. I like what Rougue is actually doing. He's not threatened by the bunker at all. He's like, I care about your factory units even more.
He does have this Cyclone, and that's really important. Cyclone's great at defending bunkers as well. If he can get the second Cyclone out, then that will be really close to him holding this off.
Yeah, another step towards holding off, if you will.
I mean, this is just 6 Biles at a time. Like, it's just so difficult.
Losing
to defend
SCVs.
Against. Oh, he's going to lose more too here. 2 more falling down, but the second Cyclone survives, and that is really all that matters at this point. The rush has done a lot of damage, but there's the potential for it to be held.
Here we go. No micro against that. Okay, last second micro. Still a lot of SCVs going down, but as you said, Cyclones are pretty strong against these units. Good damage there. The bunker is still alive, and ByuN can retreat to that.
Yeah, ByuN's going to be able to pull almost all of his SCVs there to repair. But that's really all he needs. As long as ByuN can repair these 2 Cyclones, he will stay alive. But for how long?
Okay, Cyclone number 3 is being produced right now. And keep in mind that Rougue is not transitioning at all. He's stayed at 13 workers the entire game. It's only Roaches and Ravagers coming out right now.
To be fair, ByuN does only have 10 workers, and he's been forced to pull them. The factory will go down. Oh my god, that last-second repair! The SCVs get there just in the nick of time, keep the factory alive, and will survive, keep all of these Cyclones alive too! The Biles dodged! The Cyclones live! The Ravagers die! And with them, probably Rougue's hopes of winning this game. Now, he did a lot of damage, but don't get it twisted. ByuN's hold was immaculate, spectacular.
That was on a knife's edge, too. That was really cool. And we've seen ByuN's insane Cyclone micro before. This isn't the first time we've seen this, but this time it's against Zerg, as you will. So really cool to see. Last second micro against Corrosive Biles. He saves the factory.
That factory
big sigh from Rougue. He's like, oh, well, I know it too. I'm going to have some trouble.
I mean, this is the GG Banshee right here. They're zooming in on it just to say, look, as soon as this gets out, so will Rougue, basically. And even with no more Overlords, he's going to have to build one so he's not supply blocked. There he goes. He's going to be morphing these Ravagers, and this is really just his last-ditch effort.
Yeah, definitely will be. There's no scouting in the main. He can only assume that it will be Banshees that are coming out. He hasn't made a Queen back at home. He's just going for the follow-up all-in. But again, once that Banshee is made, that is one of the easiest units to micro against Corrosive Biles. And unfortunately, nothing else here can attack air units. So here we go. Rougue coming in again.
Watch him kill the Banshee with Biles, and then he wins the game.
Well, that's his only hope. He's not even trying. Going for the Cyclones. Here we go.
I guess that was kind of his only option, but not only will he not be able to kill them off, he will die to the GG She. And that will take us into game number 4.
The GG She, definitely a female.
That is true.
But yeah, that brings ByuN now to 2-1. Was able to hold off that very strong all-in out of Rougue. But that's 3 big all-in moves by Rougue in a row.
I don't know if that's really just going to be the theme of tonight for Rougue. It's just
seems that way
every game. I mean, we talked about how good Rougue has been historically against Zerg this season. A lot of that has been because of Reapers, but he's just looking airtight. I mean, even when he starts off with like a low ground command center and gas early on, and he's still just getting himself barely able to hold on. That last second factory save, so sick. And even things like being able to just barely get the Cyclones out that he needs. He essentially had basically 2 to 3 units for that entire game, and just tried to show how good Cyclones were. So good job, ByuN. Those are good units.
One thing I really liked out of ByuN in his micro was moving the SCVs that were repairing at the last second, right before Corrosive Biles land. He's got a smile back on his face, so he's pretty happy about it as well. I think one thing Rougue could have done better is instead of trying to kill the SCVs with Corrosive Bile, just target them down. I know that would have taken some damage away from the factory that he was doing, but if he doesn't have any SCVs to repair, then it will be eventually a lot easier to kill, and you'll affect his economy as well. So either way, we are going into game number 4. This will be on Ascension to Ire.
Here we go. Fly Better flying into it. Our purple Zerg player once again. He is Jin Air Green Wings Rougue.
And his opponent.
Stretching for that.
Yeah, I don't have to say his name because, yeah.
Yeah, you already did.
That's
there
it.
you go. It's an all-in-one introduction.
It's the lazy introduction of ByuN.
Well, we've seen all in 3 games for Rougue so far. He is remarkably committed to going for this early aggression, and I don't think he's going to be letting up. It's a gas pool. We're going to see speedlings out there everywhere on the map, and see if ByuN continues to go for this early eco player, if he finally starts to put some respect on that Rougue name.
So far, just making a barracks. Nothing too exciting. I have some more mosquito facts, but I'm sure you guys don't want to hear too much about them.
I am super interested in these. Hit me with the digits.
Female mosquitoes, they take blood from their bites to provide protein for their eggs.
Yeah, well, I've been given a lot of them, that's for sure.
Yeah. Rapid helping rapidly to the mass production of extra mosquitoes.
I am all about that helping the environment. That's what I'm doing.
Mosquitoes can detect their victims by sensing the carbon dioxide that humans and animals produce.
What? That's like sonar, but way better.
Yeah. So if you guys, a good tip is just to stop breathing if you don't want mosquitoes to bite you.
Oh my god, I think you're on to something. Now if every opponent I play while I play StarCraft on ladder just tries to stop mosquitoes that way, I think I'll be in a good spot.
Eventually, if you stop breathing for long enough, then they'll just never come back to you.
Oh yeah, that is true. The other secret is that there's a finite amount of blood in your body, so hey, I mean, as soon as that's used up, I guess you're just mosquito-proof.
Yeah, just give it all away, then you'll be fine. Then the mosquitoes can't get to you.
Oh my god. All right, well, this season, at least this summer, for the last few months, just to talk about the game a little bit, while we don't see too much crazy aggression. This time last game we had Roaches and Ravagers halfway across the map, but...
well, one thing, if you guys do want to unsubscribe from Mosquito Facts, you can just go ahead and reply in the chat with unsubscribe.
Is that how you do it?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't realize it was that easy. Let me just unsubscribe real fast. Hold on. Unsubscribe. Oh, hold on. I'm bad at spelling.
Unsubscribed.
Unsubscribed. All right. There we go. You know, we actually have several people subscribing in chat, so they are really into that. But
so they want some more mosquito facts, I see, in the future. That's good to know.
Man, I just want less mosquitoes. That's all I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and talk about the game for just a brief second. I know you
just a little bit.
You've got a long list over there, but it's going to be more and more Hellions coming out. But these are going to be dropped most likely into the opponent's base if that dropship does come out. Looks like
5 SCVs and gas.
Dun, dun.
But this is fake. You know, he comes in and he's like, oh,
wait
Tech
a
Lab.
second.
Maybe it's Banshees without cloak.
Ha!
Or a Raven.
What could it possibly be? No.
It's neither of those things.
It is, in fact, Hellions. And they are going to be all the way across the map. I actually thought he was going to wait for the drop, but looks like that'll be ferrying in a little bit later on.
I mean, Rougue he's seen everything that's coming across here. Looks like ByuN was considering a Raven for just a second. Cancels it and then restarts it.
I'm not crazy. He was building a drop or a medevac, right? Where'd it go? Did he cancel the medevac? Maybe that's what they were showing us. No, there it is. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. I was right, in fact, all along. Success has been had. Victories made one day at a time here. Now, what he should do, I guess, is drop them on the low ground, try to shoot up. But with all those queens slow walking over there, it looks like it's time to reconsider his drop option. His droption.
His droption, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
You just had to spell it out for us. I understand how it is.
R-O-P-O-P-T-I-O-N.
There you go.
Hey.
Okay, he's going to try to drop here again, but
misses one of the Hellions and has to run back around. He does have 4 Hellbats harassing down here at the third base. Whoa, the Baneling hit of destiny. Oh my god, it's the hero Baneling. Wow. Classic was talking in our show 4-man about if he had to remove one unit from the game, he would remove Banelings because they don't take any special control. You just roll them in. Well, you actually do have to do special things to get a Baneling like that to hit with that perfect a connection. So great control there on that Baneling. Rougue blows everything up.
ByuN really hasn't found much damage with any of his harass. He's been poking and prodding at the third base, at the main, but Rougue saw it coming a mile away with that commitment to the Overlord's speed earlier on in the game. And now he's totally safe. He's getting up to 3 bases. He's making 10 more drones to get up to 68, make that 12. Wants to make it past 69 by just 1. And ByuN is kind of just... he got this third command center in pretty fast timing, but his build, his heavy harassment build, hasn't really paid off at this point in time.
Did you know, Valdez? A mosquito can drink up to 3 times its weight in blood. Don't worry, though, because that would
disgusting.
take about 1.2 million bites to drain all the blood for your body. So
1.2 million?
Yeah, bites.
I'm sure that's possible.
I'm sure it is, too.
You ever see those videos of people in, like, Alaska with the, what do they call them, like horse mosquitoes that are bigger than the size of your hands?
I refuse to acknowledge that that is a possible thing to exist. Valdez, I need to live in a world where that is not a thing.
You'll just have faith that those don't exist, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I got lots of that.
A lot of people in the world, you know,
lots of it.
Use logic like that. You know,
I am an
just don't think about it and just pretend it doesn't exist.
I'm an anti-mosquito theist. Do not believe in those. Okay, finally regrouping up here, but nice little run around. Rougue will get through and pick off precisely 2 SCVs. Precisely 2. Oh man, he got the 3rd one. Oh wow, he's actually not going to...
Oh no!
He has to keep the depots up, so more SCVs do go down. It's only 3, but here's the big push. Auto turrets drop down. This is going to be a forced cancel on this hatchery unless he wants to go for it right now. Where's it going to go? They're rolling in now all over those Marines, taking the majority out.
The timing of Baneling speed, as I said multiple times, was crucial in him helping off, or holding that off, as I'm trying to shove away 3 mosquitoes from my face right now. We're actually moving closer to Alaska.
They don't want you to give away their secrets, Valdez. They're coming to take you out before you give them out.
1.2 million bites. They're awaiting me. Oh, no.
We only got about 0.2 left, man. This has been a rough night.
Yeah.
So, wow, yeah, that definitely would have been a forced cancel. Had that Baneling speed been a little bit slower, ByuN would have done that sick micro where he just snipes everything off before they hit. But no, the speed was there, and a great hold keeps that 4th base alive.
Yeah, nicely done. Couple of Widow Mines over here, just chilling. They're, you know, they're for peace basically. They're not really about attacking.
Yeah.
And ByuN sent them on a mission, but they're just like, we'll just hang out.
No, these are pacifist mines.
Yeah.
Okay, well now they're pacifist mines.
That drone just wanted it though. You know, he ran in the range. Well, what can you say? It's not his fault.
Okay, there we go. These are not dark banelings. They do not magically find their way into mineral lines. They do in fact kill only one Marine. Nice. Nice.
Nice.
There we go. All right, well, more drops coming forward. They will be headed to the main. See how successful they are. Looks pretty unscouted so far. Here come the Queens.
Oh,
wow,
boy.
actually tanked them with units that wouldn't die. Great planning. But now there's tons of speedlings surrounding absolutely everything. How good is the mine shot? Pretty decent, I guess, but I think there's friendly fire there too that'll push the drop out.
Mr. Liberator coming on in. The Queen's actually getting in the range, but fortunately it looks like there's enough transfuse to...
Is there? Oh my god!
What?
How did that shot go? No way!
The Queen's antenna was inside the range.
No way! That is Vegas, man.
What the
There's
hell?
no
That was
way
like a... That was
in range.
A lock-on shot there by the Liberator.
The only reason...
They're evolving. What?
There's a...
What?
There's no way that's not a tight wall.
Are you serious?
That's a Brood War wall off if I've ever seen one.
I love how ByuN just has no reaction. Just like distaste.
He's like, oh, I guess I need another bunker
like,
there.
Ugh. Walls aren't what they used to be.
I tell you, man, back in my day, we just put down a supply depot, and it was like 4 times the size of supply depots now.
Yeah. There used to be no destructible supply depot rocks at the bottom of the ramps. You could just make a pylon wall. Back in the day.
What's up with this lowering supply depot?
What's going on with 20 SCVs dying?
Yeah, like,
off camera.
Can we see like
a
place?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. They were there. Now they're not there. How they died, we may never know. Instant replays.
This observer is obviously a ByuN fan.
Yeah. It's like, no, we can't show the tragedy. Okay, guys. So ByuN just has like 48 workers right now, and that's much less than the almost 80 workers that Rougue has.
He's got 2-2 to 1-1. The push is still going to be strong.
Oh, yeah.
Did sustain a lot of damage to his worker line, but if he could find some significant damage with this drop, maybe. But Rougue is prepared for it in the main.
Here we go. Medevac boost all the way into the main base, dropping everything off. Now, he's actually going to lose both a Medevac and a couple of Marines inside of it. The Baneling actually does get quite a bit of damage done, but, oh, the micro, it's pretty good. Will he be able to snipe off the Banelings? No, he's not actually able to. And behind this, a nice run by will force a cancel on the 4th base.
Rougue playing it slow here in this game, just very defensive. 4 bases, going for counterattacks only, never ever stepping off creep. He's just inviting ByuN on into the creep and saying, okay, you know, come at me. But lots of Banelings, a strong number of Hydras now in the mix, and Rougue is held strong for now.
I mean, for ByuN, he does recognize, hey, that upgrade advantage is going to make... Are you kidding me, man? ByuN's wall... ByuN has an onion base. It's a ByuN base. It's made up of layers of walls all over everywhere, and they're all down. I don't know, man. That's going to be rough. He does have enough back in his base to defend it while also keeping pressure out there on the map, but... ooh, Valdez, we're starting to see some sloppiness.
Yeah, we definitely are, and finally Rougue decides to go off creep here. Was for a good reason. Lots of weakened Marines.
Hey, man, look at that +1 armor doing work.
Yeah, quite literally.
If he had not had that +1, he'd literally have half the army supply right now. And by literally, I mean figuratively.
It could have been.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe
close. But,
look at all those 2 HP Marines. Look at that 1 Medevac also trying to
There's
heal
only
it up.
2 Medevacs.
Oh, 2. Yeah, there it is.
What is that? He's about to hit 3-3.
Yeah. Man, when this 3-3 hits, let's not forget that it's still going to be giving ByuN the upgrade advantage, but oh no. Oh, Valdez.
Here we go again. Oh, he's actually saving those.
Ooh,
looks like he ran into the supply depot
Watch
there for a second.
We're just going to see 20 more SCVs die as it pops up on the side of our screen. I mean, this is going to be the big fight. Huge fungals, but the Banelings are getting sniped before they can connect. ByuN just has insanity numbers of Marines killing everything Rogue throws at him.
The concave was perfect, and there's nothing to get on top of those units as they get bungled. He tries for it, but unfortunately, bungle is not what will do that damage. Not enough Banelings, and the perfect concave for ByuN.
Bungles are good, but Stim Marines are better. Great control by ByuN gives him a very favorable engagement. In the end, he's able to pick up and boost back out. Now, these Banelings are going to be a little bit sad because, unfortunately, ByuN has just not rebuilt hardly any workers this game. He's still stuck on 45, and we're already almost 15 minutes into the game. So,
yeah.
I mean, ByuN's pulling back. He's going to be able to stabilize, but he keeps taking economic losses.
Yeah, you know what it looks like is just that economy. You know, he really wasn't able to ever take back that base against the Banelings, and only is now getting this base up, which actually almost died.
Yeah, we actually didn't catch that on screen, how close that was to...
But he's still got 3 infestors!
Yes, thank you, Observer. You showed us that like 10 times. We get it. He's got the bugs. So...
Can we look at the unit tab again? I missed it. How many?
Also, if you look at the production tab, he has 3 more.
Oh
wait, is that not? Okay, there
the
it is.
magic number.
It finally finished completing. So now all these Zerglings will die.
Nice. Good timing.
Unless they run away.
Rogue did just hit Hive, and he is getting his own 3-3, as well as chitinous plating and adrenal glands. So even though ByuN's attack was very nice, he didn't have a big follow-up. And here we go, more fungals coming down. There are enough Banelings this time around, and not enough ByuN. All those medevacs are going to be caught.
Yeah, I'm not sure really what ByuN was doing that far out without enough to protect the force that he had there. I guess he was going to rely on reflexes to boost on out of there in time, but he didn't have it, and now he really just doesn't have a whole lot of anything. 44 army to almost double that for Rogue, and ooh, this is starting to get scary, Valdez.
Yeah, big respect there by Rogue. He knows he's got a big follow-up too, so he can just go back. He has a nice bank of gas. Make sure that he takes those 5th and 6th bases, and then we'll probably follow up with some Ultralisks on the way, and his 6 infestors.
I'm just curious as to what ByuN's like strategy is here. He's finally secured himself 5 bases. I mean, they're up, but really, how secure are they? His army supply is just way down there, and sure, it's gotten up substantially since we last saw it, but he's just kind of struggling behind this. Rogue has, what is that, 6 bases there. Wow, that is quite a few.
Run away.
Are you making medevac sounds now?
I'm adding new effects to the SSL Challenge soundboard. We always, is the big one. We always do that one.
That's the medevac sound now.
Yeah.
We got it. All right.
Boosting away from Hydras. It's the sound you make.
Wow. Okay, how many infestors does he have now, Valdez?
6.
6?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I was thinking of the Barney song. Once I caught a fish alive.
Okay, Valdez.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And now we all know what Valdez's childhood was like.
Yeah. Did you know that Selena Gomez and Ariana Grande were on Barney?
I did know that. Barney was actually filmed 15 miles away from my house.
Wow.
Yeah.
That explains a lot.
Does it? Oh, God.
I don't know exactly what that means. I just thought it would be nice to say that.
This is story time. We're all kind of just waiting for either like Rogue to figure out how to kill ByuN, or ByuN to just like stop being able to consistently get himself back into this game over and over again. We were just talking about how Rogue was almost being doubled up in army supply, and now he's actually 20 supply ahead. If you look at the worker count, he's still on 45 though, so the rate at which he is getting minerals and gas is just way lower. Also, that was maybe not the pickup he was looking for.
Yeah, Rogue's style is very, once he gets ahead, he gets very ahead. When he's not cheesing, that is. So he won all those fights against ByuN, and he's like, well, I'm just going to get all this better tech and Ultralisks and nice other stuff, extra bases. He's taking a 7th down in the south side now. And basically, he's just waiting for ByuN to attack. He's like, okay, I'm ready. Whenever you're ready, ByuN.
At what point in this game is ByuN actually going to build more SCVs? So, to be fair, if you get to hyper late game, Terran doesn't want very many SCVs. You want a lot of command centers to just mule your way back there so you don't have to use the supply. So maybe that's what ByuN is thinking, just say, hey, as the game gets later and later, taking those economic losses won't mean as much. But I was looking at the army composition. I think he does have a few Liberators out, but he doesn't have a lot to deal with these 7 armor. What is it, 5 armor ultras? 6, 7. There we go. Sorry,
I see you're practicing.
I had to count up there. I was like, wait a second, how much armor does an ultralisk have? I counted. I got there.
There you go.
So yeah, like I said, there are a few Liberators out, but I mean, there's just a lot of Hydras on the ground, and with these Banelings continuing to roll in. Oh no! Oh my God, that could have been. Oh no! He ran the SCVs back. No!
Oh man.
The sadness. He was so close to just surviving, and then he runs them right back in. So now 6 less SCVs. ByuN just cannot get to 50 SCVs this game.
Yeah.
It's not allowed. It's never going to happen.
Does make his army gigantic. That is one thing to say, and Rougue has let him get all the answers, right? We have Liberators now, we have Widowmines, we have a gigantic Marine Marauder ball.
There's 3 full energy Vipers, though, so those Liberators are going to disappear instantly. Look at those long-range Fungals catching everything. Look at the Yanks. The Abducts are too good. The Spellcasters from Rougue doing work. He's put on his robe and his wizard hat, and he's crushing through ByuN's army.
GG. Okay, Rougue, he's had a costume change. He's now a wizard, and he has won that game.
He was casting spells everywhere,
I know. That was really fun.
Those his magic missiles. They're going everywhere.
Takes a lot of micros. It's pretty cool.
They were, man.
6 infestors and 3 Vipers.
Hey, it's those 6 infestors the Observer was trying to show us. It's like,
I know,
if you get up to 6, you win the game. Well, I
Very
guess you
expensive.
win them there. Yeah. Wow. Really impressive by ByuN to be able to... This is my sick ByuN shill moment, guys, so just bear with me for a second.
He lost the game, but
yeah. But he looked really good. To be fair, when you lose that many SCVs, it's just rough to hang on. But ByuN did it. He had a massive army that then wound up kind of biting him in the butt in the end, getting everything fungal, taken out. What a victory for Rougue to tie it up at 2-2.
You can see where his strengths lie. And we are going into Frost, the map that I said that I wanted to see. And, yeah, I think he's going to do very well on this map. He's shown that as long as he can hold on and just play that very passive defensive style against ByuN's more harass-oriented aggressive style, he looks pretty good.
So here we go, into Frost. I didn't actually know how deep we were going to get today, whether it was going to be an 0-3 or a 3-0, but hey, we've gotten here. This is Rougue, the purple Zerg player, who has just really tenaciously fought his way back to even up the series.
And his opponent, it is ByuN. He is not Rockets today anymore.
No
just
more
wearing
Rockets.
a black t-shirt.
And his expert jersey.
Yeah. So he is an expert, at least.
There we go.
Rougue not going for any weird, 13-12 builds on a big map like this. I heard a groan from the Korean side. I'm like, guys, come on.
I mean, with as much as he's been favoring Nidus play, I would still say rushes are an option.
Nidus is definitely an option here for sure.
Yeah, he could definitely go for that. You do kind of have to wait until your overlords get over there, so we haven't seen any indications, so that's probably not going to be the way to go. Rougue's late game looked really good, especially if you're going to rely on spellcasters that much. To see him get those like far-range fungals, that was pretty sick. So chances are he's okay with going all the way to the late game.
Yeah, definitely is. ByuN just going for standard here. Rougue also standard in his opening, at least for now. This isn't going to be cross spawns. We saw Whirlwind, it was cross spawns, but they both ended up just kind of cheesing each other in one way or another.
I actually really like that when players like pick the same game as their opponent to go for the wacky cheeses.
Yeah.
Then you see the look on both of their faces when they both cheese each other. Like, oh.
A lot of fun games come out of that, you know.
Yeah, much like the GSL series we saw earlier today.
Dark's response to the cheese was, hey, I'm going to cheese you back.
Yeah, what if I just got everything out of here with a Nidus?
Yeah. Innovation versus Maru in SSL Premier Season 1, I think that was, where they both double Reaper proxied on Newkirk Precinct, and it just turned into this crazy game where they swapped mains. Definitely was a fun one.
I remember that. That was also pretty sick. So we're not going to see anything too wacky here. It's just going to be probably Reactor Hellions for the most part. There is the drop down and 2 Hellions coming out. Of course, with the Starborn on the way, should be Banshees in the future. Or a Raven.
Or a medevac, or a Viking.
Ooh.
Or a battle cruiser.
You're really covering your bases there, Valdez. Yeah. Valdez like put on his elbow pads and his shin guards today. He is safety caster.
Yeah. Just want to make sure I don't say anything wrong.
Yeah, when we're like taking a break and like walking around, I'm just gonna push Brendan over, but I won't be able to because he's also got training wheels on.
Yeah.
Super safe.
How did you know? Those are supposed to be a secret.
Well, I mean, they're kind of just hanging out there, Valdez. They're not stealth.
At least the viewers can't see them. That's only for Rapid's eyes.
Ooh.
Well, ByuN is pressuring here. And he's actually getting Rougue off creep. He really wants to snipe something. He wants to escort his drone, but...
No! No drones allowed. Will not be taking that third base. Great control there by ByuN. And look at what's on the way here, Valdez. 20 Zerglings to try to defend.
He's taking this very seriously. Stopping at 34 workers. He's got 3 queens as well. He's desperately trying to spread that creep out there. See the tumor coming up now. It does spread faster now. And
it does.
See the boy.
Look at that. That is actually really impressive.
Boom. Creep.
It's all the way out there. So wisely kind of retreating, not overcommitting through anything. I think also it's important to notice that this is not the Hellbat push that we've seen earlier.
Oh, a Liberator!
Oh, okay.
Forgot about the Liberator. What?
How are you so safe and yet still
what
forget
happened
about
to
the
safety
Liberator?
caster? What?
Oh my god!
How do you forget about
the
Liberator?
Training wheels fell off, man. Also, you could have looked at the production tab, but
yeah, well,
we're trying to be honest.
That's
casters.
for rookie casters.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh,
my god! How did look at those hits? They're insane. What? All of okay, Valdez. I mean, the Zerglings are going for a counterattack. The siege tank isn't sieged, but the wall this time is good with all that splash damage. I mean, he's gonna break through, but is this really enough?
Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, he's gonna repair that tank.
He needs to unsiege the tank to actually shoot things.
15 drones lost? That's insane. But yeah, eventually,
there you go.
ByuN does hold on, and that might just do it. GG, ByuN. Good on the defense. Takes game number 5.
Yeah, and Bunny is going to be the one that's really kicking himself because he needed Rougue to win.
Yeah.
So that he could just defeat Sue and then get a locked-in first place. Rougue obviously also kicking himself because that does mean his SSL challenge hopes are pretty much over as he's sitting at 1-3. I think he can't even make it into fast lane now.
He cannot make it into fast lane now. I mean, we've got guys like Jockg like way down on the bottom of the standings.
0-3.
Yeah, 0-3 so far. Not looking so hot. But for Rougue, I had my hopes up, man.
Yeah.
He was looking really good. But after a very strange series, it'll be ByuN that will advance us to our first commercial break. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more SSL Challenge.